Deep inside a classified facility in California, a man sat in a dark room in deep meditation. After some time, he suddenly began to speak.
Very large and noisy. Double hull. The design. There are workers.
What he was describing was actually the description of a Soviet submarine being built inside a covered shipyard in northern Russia. A place he's never been. A submarine Western intelligence doesn't know exists. And not just one time, but for more than 20 years, the CIA ran a structured intelligence program attempting to turn an ancient Indian practice into a functional tool of espionage. But the question is, how? How could a person perceive something thousands of miles away without being there? And can the human mind really do things we don't yet understand? It's 1970. The Cold War is at its peak. Then a report lands on the desks of CIA analysts. The Soviet Union is secretly pouring millions into researching the human mind, telepathy, or remote perception. They are using psychic techniques to gather information. So in 1972, the CIA quietly funded a research project at Stanford Research Institute. Two physicists, Harold Puthoff and Russell Targ, were given one assignment: find out if the human mind can be used as a spy. They began testing individuals who claimed unusual abilities. And then one man changed everything. His name was Ingo Swann, an artist from New York. In early tests, scientists locked objects inside sealed, signal-blocking containers and asked him to describe what was inside. He closed his eyes and drew them accurately. Multiple studies and tests were going on in this program. Then in April 1973, Swann suggested an experiment and asked the team, "Give me the coordinates of a planet, any planet. Don't tell me which one." They gave him Jupiter with just numbers. Swann went still, closed his eyes. After a long silence, he said, "There's a ring around it, a thin band surrounding the whole planet," which he likened to the rings of Saturn. He also mentioned seeing bands of crystals in the atmosphere that glittered. At the time, conventional science held that Jupiter did not have rings. Swann and the SRI researchers were reportedly embarrassed by the result, wondering if he had accidentally viewed Saturn instead. But then years later, the NASA probes confirmed that Jupiter does indeed have a ring system, proving Swann's description accurate, long before physical sensors could verify it. Now, skeptics would say the timeline is disputed and Swann may have heard something, somewhere. And yes, these are fair points. But one thing is certain. The CIA believed they had seen enough proof to keep funding the program for 20 more years, now focused on turning it into an intelligence weapon. Over the next few years, they built a structured, classified program. They recruited military personnel, built protocols and developed a method, and established structured scientific protocols to operationalize a method of divine sight that was derived from ancient yogic practices such as the ashta siddhis described in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. It was almost mundane on the surface. A viewer would sit in a quiet room. They'd be handed a piece of paper with nothing but a set of numbers on it, no photographs or names, and the viewers would close their eyes and enter a deep state of meditative awareness and would describe what they saw. That brings us back to September 1979, an urgent request from the National Security Council. Satellite images had picked up something strange at a Soviet shipyard in Severodvinsk. Something enormous was being built inside a covered facility. That's when they brought in Joseph McMoneagle, remote viewer number 1. He was handed coordinates and had no idea he was being pointed at a Russian shipyard. He closed his eyes and described a submarine. Years later, when McMoneagle was asked what it felt like to be inside a session, he said it wasn't like seeing a picture. It was more like being dropped somewhere. Cold air, the smell of metal, the low vibration of industrial machinery. He said he could feel the scale of what was being built before he could even describe it. He also said that the hardest part was coming back. Weeks later, when new satellite photographs came through, showing the completed submarine, McMoneagle's sketch matched. The Typhoon-class submarine, double-hulled, unusual design, exactly as he had described. Like these, Project Stargate ran many operations targeting Soviet facilities, military movements, and classified programs using human consciousness as the instrument. Until 1995, when the CIA finally shut it down after 23 years. Their official reasoning was that the data was vague and ambiguous. Even successful sessions weren't precise enough to independently guide a military operation. But according to the declassified documents, individual remote viewers involved in Project Stargate and the Gateway process experienced a variety of psychological, sensory, and occupational side effects. McMoneagle described, during one study at Los Alamos, placed inside an MRI, he reported feeling the energy drain out of his body. He began to hallucinate. He said it felt like something was being pulled out of him. The spontaneous out-of-body states he'd been trained to enter, they didn't stop when the program ended. They kept happening for the rest of his life. Pat Price said the experience felt so real that it didn't feel like he was just observing anymore. During sessions focused on Soviet locations, he reported sensing heat on his skin, feeling the wind, and even the sensation of floating through the air above places his physical body had never been. When scientists monitored Ingo Swann's brain during the sessions, they noticed electrical activity was happening at the same time across different parts of his brain: the visual area, the memory area, and the thinking area, in a way they couldn't fully explain. Now, if we trace the technique the CIA team was using, its roots go back to India. Originally, yogis practiced this not to gather information, but to reach higher states of awareness and enlightenment. The 1983 report was meant to turn consciousness into a practical intelligence tool using brain synchronization, sound frequencies, and structured training. But one page, page 25, which was missing for almost 20 years, when that page finally became public, it showed that the report moved beyond pure science and started discussing spirituality. It suggested that the method might actually involve connecting human consciousness with a larger universal consciousness. Page 25 described something called the Absolute, a state of energy at complete rest, and compared it to concepts like Brahman in Hindu philosophy and even the idea of the Trinity in Christianity. In the end, the report said the bigger question wasn't whether humans are just biological machines or have a soul. The real question was how human consciousness could connect with this universal field of consciousness.